My husband had a secret second family 20 minutes from our house. Full story. My husband had a whole second family 20 minutes away from our house. I only found out because a DoorDash driver delivered his dinner to my address by mistake. My name is Kayla Harris. I'm 30 years old. My husband, well, soon to be ex, is 33 and his name is Marcus. We live in Tampa, Florida. Or at least we used to live together. Right now he's in a cheap apartment near Brandon, and I'm in our townhouse trying to figure out how many parts of my marriage were real. We've been together for 8 years, married for 5. We met in 2017 at a mutual friend's barbecue. He was the charming guy on the grill who kept everyone laughing. I was the shy girl hiding in the kitchen doing dishes so I didn't have to socialize. He came in, grabbed a towel and said, "If you keep doing chores at parties, people are going to start inviting you just for the free labor." I laughed. He helped me dry and we talked for 2 hours. He was attentive, funny, and made me feel like the only person in the room. I fell hard. He worked in IT support for a healthcare company. I'm a medical billing specialist. We bonded over hating insurance, binge-watching crime documentaries, and wanting a simple, boring life with kids and a dog. We got married in 2020. Small beach wedding in Clearwater. Everyone said we were relationship goals. For a while it really felt like that. We didn't have kids yet, but we were trying. We adopted a rescue dog named Moose, bought a little gray townhouse on the east side of Tampa, and settled into a routine. There were a few things in hindsight that should have made me pause. He guarded his phone like it was a bomb, face down on the table, always on silent. He was on call, a lot more than his coworkers seemed to be. He was weirdly intense about guys' trips and game nights I was never invited to, but I didn't grow up in a family where people cheated. My default setting was trust. I worked Monday through Friday 8 to 4. Marcus had a more flexible schedule. Some work from home, some in office days, sometimes late calls with clients. If you'd asked me 6 months ago, I would have said my biggest complaint was that he sometimes forgot to take the trash out. Then DoorDash blew up my whole life. It was a random Tuesday night in September 2025. I was home alone with Moose. Marcus had texted that morning. "Late shift tonight, we've got a system upgrade. Don't wait up, weary face, love you." I made myself pasta, watched a Netflix show, and was just about to head to bed when someone knocked on the door. I opened it to see a DoorDash driver holding 2 large bags. "Order for Marcus?" he asked. I frowned. I didn't order anything." He double-checked his phone. "This address, 1428 Bayview Townhomes, Unit C, right?" That was us. "Yeah, that's my address," I said slowly. "But I didn't order food." He sighed. "Well, the app shows it's been delivered successfully if I leave it here. And the name is Marcus H. Same last name as you. Maybe your husband ordered it." I hesitated, then said, Yeah, that's my husband. I can take it." He handed me the bags and left. Inside, 2 big burgers, loaded fries, chicken tenders, a kid's mac and cheese, and a Coke with Emma Redheart written in Sharpie on the lid. My chest tightened. We don't know an Emma. And if he was at work, why was food coming here? I checked my phone. No message from him about delivery gone wrong. No, "Hey babe, food should arrive, it's for XYZ." I put the bags on the counter and something in me said, "Don't ignore this." I opened our shared email on my laptop, the one we use for bills and random subscriptions. I typed DoorDash into the search bar. Hundreds of receipts popped up. That wasn't too weird, we use it a lot. But then I noticed something. A bunch of orders over the last year were going to a different address. Delivery address, 2315 Oak Glen Apartments, Building B, Unit 204. That meant nothing to me. In Tampa there are 1,000 apartment complexes. But the ones to that address had a note on the order. "Call when you arrive, don't knock. Ask for Marcus." And many of them had the same detail. Add note, "For Kayla and Emma, smiling face with smiling eyes." Or, Kids mac and cheese for Emma, please. I stared at the screen so long my eyes burned. At first my brain tried to make up safe stories. Maybe he'd been helping a coworker. Maybe he put in the wrong address once and autofill kept it. Maybe Emma was someone else's kid and he was just being generous. Deep down I knew. I copied the address into Google Maps. It was 18 minutes from our house. I don't know what part of me took over, but I grabbed my keys, left the untouched food on the counter and drove. Moose whined as I shut the door. I felt like I was leaving one life and walking into another. Oak Glen Apartments was a pretty basic complex. 3-story beige buildings, scraggly palm trees, kids' bikes near staircases. I parked near Building B and just sat there. What was my plan? Knock and say, "Hi, I think my husband lives here too?" My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. But not knowing was worse. I walked up the stairs to Unit 204. From inside, I could hear a TV and a child laughing. I knocked. Silence. Then footsteps. The door opened a crack. A woman in an oversized t-shirt and leggings looked out. She was maybe my age, dark hair and a messy bun, tired eyes. We stared at each other for a second. "Hi," I said, voice shaking. "I'm looking for Marcus." Marcus Harris. Her face changed like I'd slapped her. She opened the door wider. Inside, in the living room, I saw a small pink scooter, a toy kitchen set, a framed photo of Marcus holding a little girl on his shoulders at the beach. The woman swallowed. "Who are you?" she asked. "I'm his wife," I said. She stared at me like the words didn't compute. Then she laughed, but it sounded more like a sob. "Funny," she said. "I'm his fiancé." For a moment, everything went very quiet in my head. Like someone turned the volume down on reality. I must have looked like I was about to pass out because she stepped aside and said, "You'd better come in." I walked in on autopilot. On the wall were more photos. Marcus kissing this woman on the cheek. Marcus at a child's birthday party. Marcus in a matching Christmas pajama set with them on a couch I'd never seen. The little girl from the photos toddled into the room, maybe 3 years old, curly hair and pigtails. "Mommy, who's that?" she asked. The woman picked her up. "Go play in your room for a bit, Em," she said. "Mommy has to talk to someone." My stomach flipped at the name. Emma. She led me to the small dining table. We sat. I could see her hands shaking as badly as mine. "Let's start over," she said, voice flat. "My name is Vanessa Lopez. I've been with Marcus for about 4 years. We live here. That's our daughter, Emma. He told me he was divorced." I felt like I was going to throw up. "He told me he was happily married," I said. "No kids. Just waiting until we were more stable." We looked at each other, mirroring horror. Vanessa got up, grabbed her phone, scrolled, then turned the screen to me. There was Marcus, smiling with Emma on his lap, captioned, "So lucky to have my 2 girls, red heart #family. Posted 2 weeks ago." I opened my own Instagram and pulled up a photo I posted the same day. Marcus and me at a Rays game, his arm around me, caption, "Date night with my favorite person." Same shirt. Same day. He had literally taken me to a baseball game and then gone home to them. Vanessa sat back down, covered her face with her hands and said, "Son of a bitch." I knew something was off, but I didn't think it was this. We spent the next hour comparing timelines. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. He'd been with me since 2017. He met her in 2021 at his gym. To her, he said, he'd gotten married too young. His wife didn't support his dreams. They were basically separated, just waiting to sell the house and finalize the divorce. To me, he said, she was a coworker he grabbed beers with sometimes, then a friend's girlfriend. When I saw her name pop up once, then simply never mentioned her again. When Vanessa got pregnant in 2022, he told her he couldn't put her on his insurance yet because the divorce paperwork was messy, but he wanted to be involved. that they'd move in together as soon as everything was settled. When I asked him in 2022 why he suddenly needed more money each month, he said, "Inflation, babe. Groceries and gas are killing me." And he'd started helping his mom with some bills. In reality, he was paying part of the rent at Oak Glen and buying baby stuff. He had two separate lives. With me, husband, dog dad, working late, guys trips, occasional romantic gestures. With her, devoted partner, almost divorced, hands-on father, every other weekend at the park. How did he even pull this off? I asked at one point, numb. She snorted. "Because we let him," she said. "Because we both believed him. We went through his work schedule. When he told me, on call overnight, he was staying at Vanessa's weekend system upgrade, he was taking Emma to the zoo. Guy's trip to Orlando, he posted photos with friends. Then Ubered back to Tampa and spent the other half of the weekend with them. We were both sobbing by the end. At some point, Emma peeked out of her room and Vanessa had to go calm her down. I sat there staring at a drawing on the fridge that said Dada in crayon. I don't know why I asked, but I did. Does he treat you well? She hesitated. At first, yeah, she said. Lately, he's been distant. Snappy. Always tired. I actually thought, maybe he's cheating on me. I just didn't think with his wife. There was a pause. Then Vanessa said, "Do you want to call him? Together." Something vicious inside me woke up. "Yes," I said. She put her phone on the table, hit speaker, dialed. He answered on the second ring, sounding cheerful. "Hey babe," he said. "Everything okay? I'm still at the office. Long night." Vanessa looked at me, eyes blazing. "Funny," she said, voice icy, "because I'm at home. And your wife is sitting at our dining table." There was a beat of total silence. Then he laughed nervously. "Vanessa, what?" I leaned toward the phone. "Hi, Marcus," I said. "I brought back your DoorDash." He went dead quiet. "Kayla," he finally choked out. What are you doing there?" "Meeting your fiancé," I said. "And your daughter. Emma is adorable, by the way. Shame you forgot to mention her." He started talking fast, words tripping over each other. Okay, just calm down, both of you," he said. "This is not what you think. I can explain." Vanessa let out a bitter laugh. "Can't wait to hear how you spin. I'm married and engaged at the same time," she said. "He tried everything. Kayla and I have been on the rocks for a long time." "Vanessa, I was going to tell you once things were finalized. You're both overreacting. This is between me and each of you individually." I said, "No, this is between you and reality." He started blaming stress. Work was killing him. He never felt good enough. He didn't know how to choose. Vanessa snapped. "You chose," she said. "You chose to lie to me for 4 years. You chose to lie to her for 4 years. You chose to let a little girl call you daddy, while you snuck back to your other life." Emma came out again, rubbing her eyes. "Mommy, where's daddy?" she asked. Vanessa's voice broke. "He's busy," she said. "Go back to your room, sweetie." Marcus must have heard her because he started crying. "Please don't do this in front of Emma," he said. She doesn't deserve a father who lives a double life," Vanessa snapped. "We're done, Marcus." She hung up. My phone buzzed immediately with his name, but I let it go to voicemail. Vanessa looked at me, wiped her face and said, "I'm sorry. You didn't deserve this." I laughed weakly. "Neither did you. We traded numbers. I promised we'd keep each other updated." I left feeling like I'd stepped out of my own body. Driving home, I screamed in the car. Just raw animal noise. The next few days were insanity. Marcus showed up at our townhouse once, pounding on the door. Moose barked like crazy. I opened it just enough to block him. "We need to talk," he said, eyes red, hair a mess. "No," I said. "You and your lawyer can talk to me and my lawyer. That's it." "This doesn't have to be the end," he said. "I can fix this. I made mistakes, but..." "Mistakes are forgetting an anniversary," I said. "You made a second family." He tried a lot of angles. Minimizing. "It's not like I had 2 marriages. Vanessa and I never made it legal." Blame shifting. "If you hadn't been so distant when we were trying for a baby, I wouldn't have." Victim playing. "My dad cheated and my mom stayed. I thought that's just how adults do things when they're unhappy. I told him to get out or I'd call the police. I also told him one more thing that seemed to actually land. I'm not just leaving you," I said. "I'm telling everyone why." And I did. I told my parents, his mom, our mutual friends, my coworkers, our pastor from church, anyone who would be impacted by our divorce. I refused to protect his reputation. He tried to get ahead of it by telling people I was crazy and overdramatic and misunderstood the situation. Vanessa backed me up with screenshots and timelines. His own mother cried on the phone and said, "I love him, but I raised him better than this." "I'm so sorry, Kayla." My lawyer was very clear. In Florida, adultery doesn't automatically nuke you in court, but it can affect things like alimony and how sympathetic a judge feels. We didn't have kids, thank God. Just Moose, who stayed with me without question. Vanessa and I kept in touch. She filed for child support and is talking to her own lawyer about whether she can sue him for misrepresentation or anything like that. At the very least, she's having paternity and custody arrangements documented so he can't vanish and come back at will. She sent me a text one night that broke my heart. I keep looking at Emma and thinking, how do I explain that her dad chose lying over being honest with either of us? I didn't have an answer. I started individual therapy. My therapist said something that stuck with me. Marcus didn't just cheat physically. He built 2 entire emotional worlds and expected you both to live in them without ever knowing the other existed. That's not just infidelity. That's a long-term con. Right now, this is where everything stands. Marcus is out of the house. The divorce papers are filed. I've changed all the locks, separated our finances, and am slowly going through the house removing anything that reminds me of the fake life we had. Vanessa and I are weirdly allies. Not friends exactly, but 2 women trying to clean up the same mess from different sides. Emma still asks for her daddy. Vanessa is trying to navigate that without trashing him in front of their child, which is more grace than he deserves. Sometimes I lie awake and think about all the little things. The nights he said he was stuck at work, while I waited with dinner. The weekends he worked overtime, and I binge-watched TV alone. The random times he was too tired for intimacy. Those were Emma's bath times, birthday parties, bedtime stories. He stole not 1, but 2 women's realities to prop up his fantasy of being wanted and adored in multiple places. So that's my story. My husband had a second family 20 minutes away, fiancé, toddler, entire apartment, while living a full-time married life with me. I found out because a DoorDash order meant for them ended up at my front door. Now I'm divorcing him, and his 2 separate lives are crashing into each other whether he likes it or not. What would you do in my place? Would you keep any kind of contact so Emma has access to you as someone who understands? Or would you cut all ties and let Vanessa handle her side while you rebuild from scratch? Let me know what you think in the comments. I read them all. And if you like stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Reddit Story Vault for more Reddit drama, relationship chaos, and full stories just like this one.